What's up, guys? This is my basic UFC 249 picks, breakdown, and betting advice. I had a really long live stream the other night, and I'm officially the new king of cringe because I just was drinking too much alcohol, and I had some really good discussions, and I think I kind of wrapped my head around these fights a lot. I've been reviewing a lot of tape, but yeah, I'm just gonna try to get this video out to actually break them down in a more concise way. So of course, if you look here, we're going to be going the first one, Span versus Alvey. Now, I think this is kind of an easy one to predict, isn't it? With this one, obviously, from a betting perspective, what you're going to do, Sam Alvey is, a huge underdog, right? And Ryan Spann being the favorite for good reason. If you look at these stats here, obviously, Sam Alvey should be dropping down, going back to middleweight, right? I don't think he kind of just ballooned up to this weight class. So if you're betting on Sam Alvey, he basically has one way to win this, right? He has a puncher's chance. You're going to say you have to knock him out, basically, which I think against Ryan Spann, as we all know, he's a heavy favorite for a reason. And Ryan Spann's not perfect, but I think overall he has the better overall MMA game. If you see, look back at his success in his fights. I think also with the striking as well. Everything just looks a bit more polished. He has the larger frame, the reach. He's a taller guy. 6'5" or 6'2", right? So it's not like Sam Alvey's small or anything like that. It's just that when you're in this division of light heavyweight, you're going to be going against these huge guys, these beasts. Yeah, I feel like Ryan Spann, look, you see him like that way he punches a 1-2, and he's got that power as well. So you're talking about Sam Alvey, his only way of winning is by power, right? By knockout. Well, Ryan Spann also has power. He's larger, he's more athletic. Sam Alvey he doesn't really land in combos. He just kind of waits. He wants to land that nice left hook. He wants to kind of just bait you into it, right? So he's kind of plods forward and doesn't really have the combo or striking finesse to kind of set it up, though. And of course, Ryan Spann is very athletic. He can take him down and get a submission. He has that power too. You see that 1-2 just from doing a little 1-2. It's like Nate Diaz likes to do, straight down the pipe. That 1-2, but it's got power at the end of it. You can see the guys get rocked from it. So obviously, look, Ryan Spann, if you're either going to put him in a parlay, because I just don't see him. It could happen. It's very high risk. He's got these big guys throwing leather around. Obviously, he could lose, but he's a huge, crazy, heavy favorite for a reason. If you want, you can put him in a parlay or just straight up pass. Or if you're just like a crazy gambler, maybe you like the thrill of it. Imagine you just put a little bit of cash down on Sam Alvey and he wins by some kind of lucky punch, and then you get a profit. But like I said, that's just like a really risky bet. It's just the kind of betting you want to do. Ryan Spann's a minus 420 favorite. Sam Alvey a plus 330 favorite. So. Yeah, like I said, either put Ryan Spann in a parlay if you're that confident, or just pass. That's what I would say from a betting perspective. Coming up, Bryce Mitchell versus Charles Rosa. I've talked about this on my channel. I did a kind of more in-depth breakdown. He's talking about their past fights and what they did, what I saw. And of course, like with Bryce Mitchell, for me, like I said, I've had this pick. I'm not changing it. I think now, as far as picking who I think is when I'm leaning towards Bryce Mitchell. Okay, that's a pick as far as who I assume is going to win. But like I said, there's not, it's tough. It's tough, man, because, Charles Rosa is plus 155, underdog. So it's nice. So from a betting perspective, Rosa's a smarter bet. Okay, now just because I think that I'm kind of, high up on Bryce, I think that, Bryce could get it done. Okay, age 25 is a younger guy versus 33, and 5'10", Bryce 5'10", 5'9", not a huge height advantage, and with a reach of 70 versus 69, right? So if you just look though, the significant strikes, even if you look at that, Charles Rosa usually lands 3.79 versus 1.78 for Mitchell, right? So Mitchell, he comes in. The thing is, he's gotten a lot bigger. It's really hard from a betting perspective to bet on some guy who has cardio issues. That's a big red flag, okay? And Bryce looks like he's kind of gained a little more mass. So I think it's going to be tougher. He does, in the first round, he's really good about, he'll land some flying knees, he'll land some hard shots. I think he has the power advantage for sure. But the actual cardio advantage goes to Rosa. Now, and Rosa has, like I've said before, but he has those nice kicks, right? He has a variety of them, very flexible, but not necessarily a lot of pop. He'll do nice switch kicks. So I think, he can kind of can throw Bryce off, and I think he'll be having that kicking game. He's going to continue it throughout, all the way to the last bell. He can continue doing that. Bryce, I don't think so. And as far as on the ground, too, if you look, the thing is, Rosa, has arguably had the better competition. Okay, so but that doesn't mean it doesn't always mean everything, because that doesn't always necessarily mean that he's absolutely better, right? I mean, you can look at the past competition. I think Bryce is kind of still a bit new in this, and he's coming up though, and people are high off that twister win he got, right? But Rosa's no joke with his submission skills as well. He has, he showed a variety of it. So I think they're going to neutralize each other, and I think it's going to be a stand-up battle for the most part, and which is going to be really fun. I think you're going to see Rosa kind of landing his kicks, but when he went against Burgos, Burgos has nice body shots, good boxing, but is more patient because he would eat Rosa's shots because they're not not the heaviest handed guy, and then he would and he was, I think, losing that fight. Rosa was basically adding, you see, just had more output, but Burgos was just okay. He'd eat one, he did a couple of shots to land a bigger one of his own, and Rosa, when he got got KO'd in that right towards the end. It's sad. It could happen though. The thing is, if it happens late in the rounds, is Bryce Mitchell gonna KO him in the late rounds? I don't know about that, man. I don't see that. But like I said, I'm feeling Bryce. It's kind of tough to go against Rosa because I feel like if you're betting on, I feel like if I'm going for Rosa, I'm always thinking like, oh, please don't get knocked out. Oh, please, hey, yeah, stay away. You're kind of betting on him to stay away. He have to mind his P's and Q's, throughout all the rounds. He has to be making sure he's laying those kicks away. And his striking, like he does a little looping hook, and then ducks under, really folds like half his body, right? Folds his body half, like ducks under the punch and lands. So he lands that hook, he ducks under and lands. He does land it quite a bit. He'll see that same combo in every fight that he has, pretty much, especially the recent ones. Like it's that same combo. And it's not that he lands a lot of power because it's a haymaker. It looks like a haymaker, right? Like a looping hook, but it still lands, and it's it still touches up the guy. So he's pretty good at that. But like I said, has defensive holes, as does Bryce Mitchell. Like it's like I said, these guys are more like their ground game is their specialty, right? So, but I think we're gonna see. It kind of reminded me of like it's a little different. But what about Covington versus Usman? Like where you're gonna see two guys where they had such good wrestling, so it becomes a kickboxing match, right? Because they they neutralize each other's wrestling ability, right? So then you see, okay, Colby Covington has good cardio and he has good output, right? So, but he'd land. But the thing is, he maybe landed a couple shots on Usman, and then Usman would land with one, and you could just tell, like, damn, it's really, you're biting your nails, like, damn, every time Usman lands, though, the thing is, that Rosa's not gonna, I don't think he's really gonna KO Bryce Mitchell. It's kind of, it's really tough to bet on. I wouldn't assume that's gonna happen. Just as it was kind of tough, to be honest with you, as you watch the fight, I felt like Covington didn't have the same power advantage. His hands were not as heavy, because he wants to keep, he's not as heavily muscled. He wants to go for more cardio, more output. So you have to be betting that he's going to mind his P's and Q's. He's not going to eat a counter, right? That you're going to bet that Rosa doesn't get his fucking, he doesn't have a flying knee landed on him and stuff. And so it's tough though. But I said from a betting perspective, Charles Rosa is probably the better bet, okay? Because Bryce Mitchell is like such a high favorite. Let's look at the odds here. So yeah, like I said, Bryce Mitchell minus 180, Charles Rosa plus 155. I think if you, I think it's a tough one to bet on. So you can either just stay away from it, or from a betting perspective, Charles Rosa is not a bad bet. Even though I think I'm kind of going for Bryce, I feel like maybe the momentum will help him out. I mean, Rosa's kind of being, he kind of trades wins and losses, but he's had, the arguably better competition. So he has to mind his P's and Q's and just avoid, the explosiveness of Bryce. I mean, Bryce is not going to be spamming it out. He's going to slow down. So, you tell he has has less pop in his shots. But I'm just saying towards the end of the rounds, like, you have to be just betting that Rosa's going to be able to do his kickboxing, land those nice kicks consistently to keep Bryce Mitchell on end. And I think it could happen. Yeah, I think so. I think from a betting perspective, Rosa's probably the better bet. Okay, I mean, I'm picking, and I still, like I said in that video I made, I'm picking Bryce, but I'm not telling you to go heavy on it or even bet it on him at all. I'm just saying, from a betting perspective, yeah, Rosa's the better bet. Okay, Carla Esparza versus Michelle Watterson. This is another one too. It's really tough because I feel like I'm going for Watterson. And she has a path to victory. It's not like she's going to just get steamrolled, I think. But Carla Esparza is like a favorite for a reason, right? Carla Esparza, 32, Michelle Watterson, 34, so it's not a big a difference. Their height, here's the thing, though. Their height, 5'1". Carla Esparza is 5'1". Michelle Watterson, 5'3". Michelle Watterson, often she just seems really undersized. Like when she was fighting Ioana, she was still in there. She's so tough, throwing a lot of kicks, but the kicks never really landed. She's just throwing these pretty kicks like, oh, look at my nice style. like Jean-Claude Van Damme over there. I like that side kick, that side straight kick, and then she'd land it, a nice high kick to the body. Always had that sideways stance with her namesake being, Karate Hottie. But like I said, and the reach to 6'3" versus 6'2", so it's not going to be oversized. It's funny. She's a couple inches taller, and Akara has inch. The thing is, with Michelle Waterson, her ground game has been improving with each fight. She's been getting better, But she's no spring chicken. It's like, how much can she improve? Like, as far as I'm talking about her, just it's tough, man. Because she could. I've seen people pick her as well. And she could get it. Like, she could use her nice her striker, nice, like her good. She has good cardio. She's really tough. She could almost like make it a point fight. She could Wonder Boy Thompson it. She could just kind of keep landing these nice side kicks, keep Carla at bay. And, like I said, Michelle Waterson's, her ground game's been getting better, right? And Carla Esparza, she has, like, her boxing has been getting a lot better. She's, like, I think she wants to muscle her, kind of get into the ground, do the nice takedowns. And her boxing has been doing well. But the thing is, I feel like you're going to see it quite a lot on the feet. They're going to be, like, striking back and forth. And so you're going to you have to bet on Waterson being, like I said, like Rosa almost. I think, obviously she seems more experienced with the kicks. Rosa has really good kicks. Going back to talking about the previous fight, Rosa has like a wide variety of it. Like, they just don't have a lot of snap, but he shows good flexibility and good variety in kicks. I think Michelle Waterson, you can just tell that she's done it for a long time. Like, that's her bread and butter, right? Karate. So you can just tell they kind of come out like she's kind of nice. She's a little bit quicker on the feet. But you'd have to assume that Michelle Waterson's going to be able to, like, basically keep Carla at bay with those kicks by landing it, which could happen. But I think that Carla Esparza will kind of close the distance and dirty box her up and kind of outmuscle her in a way. I see that happening. But like I said, Michelle Waterson, this one is just really tough. I think from a betting perspective, you got to kind of just kind of not. This is women's MMA. It's really tough to bet on because a lot of times it's going to go to decision, and you have to really kind of put the fight in the judges' hands, which who knows how they like it. Maybe they want to score more for takedowns. Maybe some judges are more biased and they just thought the aggression, one fighter looked more aggressive. It's a lot of what ifs, right? A lot of question marks here. So I would say from a betting perspective, probably good to pass. But I think, like I said, with this one, I think, man, and I've like my initial pick, like I said, I've talked about Carla Esparza. I've just had this feeling like she's going to get it. Like, she's minus 160 compared to Michelle Waterson's plus 135. So it's a strawweight bout, it's tough, man. They're not going to, I don't think you're going to see a KO or anything. But I feel like I'm rooting for Waterson, but I think I'm fearful that Carla Esparza is going to get it. I just feel like her pressure will get at her boxing. I think they're both so tough, but I think Cookie Monster is going to get it. I think my pick, unfortunately, I think I'm not surprised if Michelle Waterson gets it. I'm rooting for her, but I do believe that if you have to ask me which one I think is going to win, who I have a feeling, I'm scared of Carla Esparza getting it. Like, if I bet on Waterson, I'd be like, damn, she's getting close. Oh, she closed the distance. Oh, she's getting takedown. I feel like Carla Esparza is going to win it, but I don't think I'm necessarily going to bet on this, okay? Going up next, we got, Ronaldo Souza versus Uriah Hall. Ronaldo Souza, minus 125 favorite. Uriah Hall is a plus 105. It's a middleweight fight, of course, right? And, man, this is a tough one to bet on. I think, you know what? From a betting perspective, you could go on Jacare. Though, I just feel like my pick for this one, I tell you what, I think I just feel like, it's really hard to bet on Uriah, because if you're betting on Uriah Hall, he's going to win it one way. He's going to have to, like, flash KO you or something. And he's got crazy power. No, he does. Both these guys have power. Ronaldo Souza, we saw, he could be losing a fight. Like, look at him against Weidman. Weidman, there was, of course, because they had good ground game. Weidman had the really good wrestling. Souza has a good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so it became this kickboxing match, and more so than a kickboxing match, just a straight up boxing match, right? And so Weidman's jab was what was winning the fight. He was the entire fight jab, was touching him with that jab when he wanted to. That was like, you saw Souza's nose get bloody, but so it's so tough, and in the end he landed his power shot and put Weidman out. So the thing is, if Weidman is having an advantage on the feet like that, by just jabbing, just a jab, Weidman's good jab alone was enough to, basically be winning the fight until he got killed. Uriah Hall, obviously has the big striking advantage, right? Uriah Hall can throw a variety of kicks, and he has power behind it. So he can end it, absolutely. But you're right, it's so hard. How can you... Uriah Hall's not a very safe bet. He never is, because... And it's during this quarantine time, too, like, it's good. He's been just locked in that... He's been just by himself, pretty much, just locked into that gym, just doing that. I saw, right? He's just, like, playing Street Fighter sometimes to just take a chill, like, just to take a break. But other than that, it's just training. He's just living there. So just focused on this total quarantine mode. So I feel like, yeah, I think he's focused. I think he'll come out. But the thing is, it's a mental thing with him. He just doesn't know how to turn it on, And on the ground game as well, Souza's going to have a huge advantage there. So if he fights smart, he's so tough, he could try to, close the distance, or, use his boxing, try to get in, pressure him against the cage, get him down, and just submit him. I mean, I think Souza's probably a better bet. It's a huge favorite, though, and anything could happen. I mean, Uriah Hall, he's a beast. 35, and freaking Souza's 40 years old. It's really tough to bet on a 40-year-old, right? I mean, it's tough. They're both, around the same. Uriah Hall's only 6 foot. He seems taller than he is, though. I mean, that's my height. I feel like he's taller than me, though. I don't know. And Souza's actually 6'1". It's interesting with their frame. I feel like Uriah Hall looks like the taller guy, right? But yeah, I mean, look at that. They both have 4 wins by KO. Significant strides. Look at that. Souza has like 2.85 to Uriah Hall's 3.31, right? And their takedowns, not really high takedowns though. 1.28 for Souza, 0.75 for Uriah Hall. So, he more wants to kind of chip you, or he just kind of wants to somehow get to the mat and then get submit you. So I think it's really tough to bet on Uriah Hall, man. I mean, it could happen, absolutely. He has the ability to. He has the striking advantage, and he has power, and he's a younger guy, right? But yeah, if you're gonna bet on this, I would say you go for Souza or just pass. Tough one to bet on, man. It really is. And then yeah, let's go on. Let's talk about this some more. So here, now we've talked about that. Fabricio Verdum. I've broken down this fight. Fabricio Verdum minus 300 favorite versus Alexei Oleinik plus 240 heavyweight bout. And I broke this down, and it's just tough. Like I said, for me, I just really can't. I can't really go against Fabricio in this, even though it's crazy because the red flag is this. Well, both men are 42 years old, so they're both, they're no spring chickens. But look, at the heavyweight, they still have the power, right? It's a very common thing in the heavyweight division, right? Fabricio has a bigger frame. He's 6'4" versus Oleinik's 6'2", and with the reach, actually Oleinik has that 80-inch reach, while Fabricio has the 77. Like Oleinik, and I've said this before. I use this analogy for him, right? Oleinik is like a scorpion as far as his because he has that right hand come out. It's like he wants to put it out there like a stinger. It has that venom in it. Like he just touches him up, and he's pretty good with it. Like he doesn't just throw haymakers. He senses when he tastes blood, he smells the blood, right? When he gets here against the cage, he'll land that same, not even like a 1-2. He'll lose that same hand because I guess he has confidence in that power. He'll land it like he'll try to go through the guard, go do an uppercut. He keeps wanting to touch you with it, and you can tell these guys feel it, man. They don't like it. And his crazy submissions, man. He's so relentless pursuing the submission. And a lot of times that could be bad, right? You think, oh, you're gonna burn your arms out. Like Sosa did that as well. Sorry, I was talking about the previous fight. I didn't talk about that. Sosa, has some. You might when he goes for submission, he could burn his arms out, get a little bit tired. That's another thing too. But Oleinik gets the job done though. But do I think he's gonna be able to submit Verdum? I mean, Verdum's arguably the best, if not at least one of the best heavyweight submission artists, right? And I think even after this long layoff, it's just hard. But I feel like the frame and his Muay Thai style as well is going to help him in the clinch. If they do get close up, I don't think Fabricio Verdum is going to see himself getting pushed against the cage. I think he's happy to land those nice knees, man. And he took a page out of Overeem's book, right? Overeem in that third match when they fight each other, Overeem was looking really weird. I think he was had maybe food poisoning or something. He looked bloated, and he also had a weird sense putting his chin out there to bait Verdum. Not a smart move. I think Verdum won that third fight. It's crazy. The judges, I don't know what they're seeing. Overeem got rocked, but Verdum still lost. It was crazy thing. But I feel like I have to go with Verdum in this. I mean, look, Oleinik though, like I said, he's you can get your money with that, and Oleinik absolutely he has power, good submission. I mean, game. I just feel like this could be another one where I wonder because Overeem is very happy to go and take it to the ground. And that could be a mistake. I mean, it could be a mistake. I think what would be smart if he just has that Muay Thai style. If he wants to do the pressure style, and he's very, he's gonna, as you see, go in the first round. That bell starts the first round. He's gonna jump in there doing a side, a flying side kick. He did it to Travis Brown, right? He did that against Overeem every round, spam that out. But yeah, I think Fabricio Verdum will come back. looking aggressive, and I think he'll kind of clinch him up. I think it's hard to go against Verdum, man. Gotta go with him, but I would say if you're confident, maybe you can put him in a parlay if you want. It's kind of hard to go really heavy on him or just pass. I mean, it's a heavyweight fight, for God's sake. It's really tough to bet on. But I just can't, as a pick, I can't go against Verdum in this. Going on, let's see now. So, next one again, Vicente Luque, minus 270. There's Nico Price, plus 220 at the welterweight fight. This one too, I've talked about it on my channel as well. I had a video out a while back. But yeah, this one too is tough. This one, I've heard a lot of people talking about this, and it's like, I'll tell you what, man, with this one, it's tough because we all know what they bring to the table, right? Vicente Luque, you know, look at that. He's like, he lost to Thompson, but obviously Thompson has like the crazy striking. He minus P's and Q's. He's pretty much the perfect guy to kind of beat Luque. Luque, like he said, he's technically sound. As far as he has advantage on the ground and standing. As far as skill wise, he's more skilled than Nico Price, right? He should win, but Vicente Luque has a tendency to brawl. He won against Mike Perry, but he still had some adversity because he was too happy to stand and trade with Perry, who, you know, has power in his hands, right? You know, Perry's an explosive guy, and he was too happy to Vicente Luque could have just, behind his P's and Q's, I'll say it for the 100th time, right? He could have just stand back, use his crisper striking to touch up Mike Perry and just kind of, and not get drawn to a brawl, but he does. He unnecessarily gets into a brawl, which is tough when you're going against Nico Price, who has freakish power, the hybrid. Right now, Nico Price, obviously, if you look at striking, it's not like the most polished at all. He's not polished, but he doesn't have to be. What the heck, up kick finish. Landing strikes from the ground, like from not even ground and pound. He's in his card basically and landing hammer fist from the bottom. When did the last time you saw that? Crazy. He's 6 foot. Vincent Luque is 5'11". You know, Nico is 30. Vicente Luque is 28. So and this reach, Nico Price got that 76-inch reach. Vincent Luque 75.5. So not really. So actually, physically, you know, as far as you look at their stats, not too much. I don't see too much of an advantage, right, for either one. But it's just a skill-wise, it's all about skill. Wins by a KO. Vincent Luque's got power too. Look, 6 KOs versus Nico Price got 4, right? Significant strikes. Vincent Luque lands 5.18 versus only 3.06 for Nico Price, right? Wins by subs. Nico Price got a couple, and Vincent Luque has 3. Takedowns. Actually, Nico Price has 1.08, where Vicente Luque has 0.82. So, interesting. I think you're going to see a stand-up battle. If Vicente Luque is smart, he won this fight before. There's a rematch, pretty much, right? Because he beat him, choked him out. If Vicente Luque is smart, he'll use his crisper strikes to touch up Nico, stay away from that power, and he can try to submit him. But I feel like, I'm telling you, it's really hard. How can you bet on Vicente Luque, even though you think, okay, you know, as far as his ability, yeah, he should. He has all those checkboxes checked. You know, right? He's the one that has the. I've already said this before. I'm gonna repeat myself, but so he has an advantage on the ground, and he has advantage on the striking. So why not bet on him, right? Man, come on now. You're gonna bet on him when Vicente Luque has like freakish power, and Nico Price has a freakish power, and Vicente Luque gets drawn to a brawl. I'll tell you my pick, and my pick has been Nico Price. I'm not switching it. Like, that's my pick. I'm not saying it's a bet on it. Like, it depends on if you like that high risk, high reward, sure, go for Nico Price. Because the thing is, though, like I said, from a betting perspective, that means you're betting on him KOing him. That's kind of bad. You're giving him a puncher's chance. And that's kind of, whenever you find yourself in that, like, if your opponent has that one way of winning, only one, it's like, it's pretty tough to do. But I can't sit here and put money on the favorite and Vicente Luque. Like, either I say dog or pass in this. Either just go for. I'm thinking about betting on Nico. I'm thinking about betting on Nico or just passing. And I'm not surprised if Vicente Luque wins. Yeah, he should win. It's just about how he will show up. How he will actually show up to the fight. Will he actually have the good game plan, stick to it, or will he get thrown to a brawl? Because I think Nico Price can make it a brawl. I think he will make it ugly. I think you'll see him getting, outstruck on the feet. I bet he'll, but Nico Price will look to stay in it, and I think he will hurt Luque. He's gonna hurt him. He's gonna hurt him, man, and I think he's gonna get it done. So that's I'm not saying you have to bet on it, but that's just I can't go against him in that. So Now let's talk about this Anthony Pettis versus Donald Cerrone, another one I've been talking about. Anthony Pettis is minus 150 favorite versus Donald Cerrone, a plus 125 favorite in the welterweight division, right? Apparently. So, I guess apparently that's the odds now. It's kind of been changing quite a bit, huh? But like I said, I was kind of surprised that Pettis is the heavy favorite, but I think it's just because he won that a long time ago. He won against Cowboy. It's like, but that doesn't really hold much weight, does it? I mean, that's a long time ago. These guys, look, they're both. I feel like this is more of a pick'em. I think people are really disrespecting Donald Cerrone just because he freaking lost to McGregor. He looked like bad in that fight, but it's true though. I mean, there's something you have to take into consideration. He didn't show up. I mean, I don't want to say like he just quit. He didn't quit. It's just the fact that mentally though, even he said it himself. Donald said, Donald showed up, but Cowboy didn't. That Cowboy, that kind of, I guess, like that urgency. He said he didn't feel good before the fight mentally. And Cowboy does, he's shown that he under the bright lights when he comes to a really huge fight. Like he wins good fights, but when it comes to a huge fight, something that's really gonna. I mean, could you imagine if he beat McGregor? Holy crap, he's skyrocketed him. But I mean, he's already very famous. But the thing is, like, he has a history of that. And of course, both guys, and I've said this before, they both handle pressure badly, and it's just tough because I think you can't really look at the Anthony Pettis fight versus Cowboy Cerrone, that old fight they had. That was like years and years ago, right? It doesn't hold weight now. I think they're both actually, it's more of a pick'em. And the thing is, Cowboy starts late, Anthony Pettis starts off much faster, right? He opens up trying to land quickly, and I think of course, it's good. Like Donald Cerrone, it's an interesting style matchup. It's going to be a really fun fight. The thing is, Donald Cerrone has the cardio advantage for sure. Anthony Pettis is not naturally really a 170 fighter, right? Like, I mean, I think Donald Cerrone looks fine at 170. He's always been kind of like really tall and lean. I think he fills up at 170 a lot better than Anthony Pettis. Anthony Pettis looks a little bit blown up at that weight, right? I mean, he could, afford to use the 10 pounds on there, right? Like, I mean, that's why he's kind of one of those guys who would have benefited from like a 160, 165 pound maybe division. Just get the little extra pounds off, right? But, 170, he's a bit, just seems like a little undersized as far as frame. And, I think like Anthony Pettis has a really good, I mean, we all know the taekwondo kicking style is really great, but that's not the same as an effective. I think if you really want to, Cerrone could easily get this. I'll tell you what, I think the odds are really kind of, they don't really make sense. I think it's more of a pick-em. It's literally like just like a flip coin toss. The thing is, my pick is Anthony Pettis, and the reason why is because I think it's basically this fight is whoever's going to have more momentum. And I think Anthony Pettis, because once one guy, either one, if they get pressured, if they start getting adversity, they start to crumble. And I don't mean quit like they're just quitters. These guys are beasts, right? These are OGs. But you know what I mean? I think Anthony Pettis is going to be starting. I think he's going to have the momentum, and he's going to land it. And I think he's going to start hurting Cowboy early, and I think he could get the job done. He get a TKO, and they're both really good on the ground as well. They have really good submission skills. They've got good kicking. I mean, taking very different styles. So it's going to be a really fun fight. But I'm going for Pettis in this. Not saying you should necessarily bet it though, because like I said, it's a risky bet. It's like a coin toss. Like whoever shows up at the fight, basically, right? And some people have argued that Donald Cerrone has more of that dog in him than Anthony does. I don't know, man. I don't know how I can be confident about that. I think it's a pick'em, to be quite frank with you. So, but I am picking Anthony Pettis. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Greg Hardy versus Jorgen De Castro, another one I've been researching. Right, Greg Hardy a minus 195 favorite versus Jorgen De Castro is a plus 165 favorite, the heavyweight fight. Now, Greg Hardy, like he's got the physical size advantage, right? He's more imposing. He's obviously a more athletic guy, right? I mean, he's bigger. Look at that frame. I mean, 6'5" or 6 foot. I mean, Jorgen De Castro, very undersized. Like I said, he needs to go down a weight class. I mean, some people just they I'm not saying you have to be ripped. I mean, there's some people like DC, right? DC is like just not going to be a really ripped guy. He has that frame to be kind of like that barrel-sized frame. I still feel like, at heavyweight, he is a little bit bloated, though, just like Jorgen De Castro is. I mean, look, if you look at him when he was at light heavyweight, at least he had some extra, softness to him, but he had visible abs coming out. I mean, it's a huge difference. I just feel like, and the thing, Jorgen has really good power, and he has those good leg kicks. People are saying, oh, the leg kicks. He has great power with the leg kick. He'll spam it out there, but I'm not saying he's the most finessed with it. You know what I mean? I think Greg Hardy will eat some, but I don't think he's going to be... I don't think Jorgen's going to land them at will. And also you see the way he's kind of like... And he's taking out bigger guys too. And I think when he fought like Tafa, like, he he had that awesome KO. But the thing is, if someone's a similar size to him, if you get like a short, stocky dude like that that's want to trade with him in the pocket, then Yorgan De Castro can get it because he's got that power, right? But I think Greg Hardy has power and is, look, he's a favorite for the reason, right? This could happen though. Yorgan De Castro could land a bomb on him, But Greg Hardy is just like, much bigger, much more of an athlete, as far as like a natural kind of freak athlete. Yorgan De Castro, like I said, a bit sloppy in there, and both are green. Like I said, this is kind of, in a way, it's heavyweight fight, so it's in a way it's a pick'em, but obviously, Greg Hardy is a favorite for a reason. I'll put it that way, right? I think I am picking Greg. I think Greg Hardy, if you're that confident in him, you're gonna put him in a parlay maybe, but I wouldn't say go too huge on him. Don't bet the house on him because you know what, Greg Hardy is also very green, and he could get touched up. But Greg Hardy has had success against guys that are just, these big guys who are, who have some power. If you give Greg Hardy some momentum, if you allow him to land on you, he's gonna turn it on, man. But who knows? Maybe he'll do something, but he'll just use his inhaler, or he land an illegal knee and get disqualified anyway. So like I said, it's just tough to bet. Or maybe he just because heavyweight, maybe he gets overzealous and he's so green that he gets knocked out. Who knows? So there's a lot of reasons why it's not good to really bet heavy on him, but. My pick, I assume Greg Hardy's going to get it, but it's kind of weird because, you know what? Like I said, I almost feel like it's weird. A part of me was kind of almost wanting to bet on Yorgan just because I go for the underdog and I felt like, man, he has the power and I can get the kicks, but no, it's just you can't be confident. If you're just a crazy guy, if you want to go bet and just have fun, put some spice in the bets and who knows, really high risk, high reward, put some money on him, but it's not a smart bet, obviously. My pick is Greg Hardy in this, but I'm not too confident about betting it. You can't be too confident in it, right? Okay, so let's keep going on, my friends. All right, Calvin Kattar, or if you want to say Qatar, but Calvin Kattar minus 240 favorite versus Jeremy Stephens at plus 200 money in the featherweight division. So with this one, another interesting one, man. It's tough because Calvin Kattar is a favorite for a reason, right? look, he had a loss. So these guys coming off losses from very dynamic strikers, right? We saw that was a good one. Jeremy Stephens versus Yair Rodriguez. And, of course, Kattar versus, Zabit Magomed Sharipov. I always mess up that name, geez. But, no sense in that. Because the thing is, but this is different. This is like a match that's very favorable. With Calvin Kattar, man, he just has, obviously, what doesn't need to be said, he has a crisper boxing, right? I'm just saying, because as far as hands, look, Jeremy Stephens will throw power. He's got power, too, and he'll smell blood, and he's got really good leg kicks as well, and he can do it. If you allow him, if you want to get thrown into a brawl, I'm not saying it's going to be a one-sided masterclass. I don't think Calvin Kattar is not going to get touched by Stephens. I think, Stephens he'll get hit, but he'll come forward, and, man, I don't know, but just Kattar, He's very patient though. He likes to counter, and once he does smell blood, he's very relentless. He's more calculated in his strikes, right? Jeremy Stephens more giving him just the puncher chance, but like I said, he's got the leg kicks, and they're both similar in age, 33, 32. Height. Jeremy Stephens 5'9". Kattar's 5'11". Jeremy Stephens 71-inch reach with Kattar having a 72-inch reach. If you look at that wins by KO, Jeremy Stephens got 7 KOs, but man, Jeremy Stephens has a lot of losses on the record, and I think. So, man, he's got a lot. I don't want to be rude to this guy, but he's going to go out there, going out on his shield, or he's going to knock you out, right? Signature strikes, Kattar lands 5.12 versus Stephens doing 3.09, right? Takedowns 1.18 versus 0.47. So, Kattar's not really going to be taking these guys down, but he's got some good. He's not. Like I said, we all know it's going to be a stand-up war, right? And I think Kattar, it's just too tough to be betting on Stephens, man. It's tough. If you're really about that though, if you really think he's got a shot, which he does, he could KO Kattar, even though you think, hey, what? He has a better boxing. How could he KO him? It's dude, it can happen. Kattar does get hit sometimes, right? Look, this is UFC. These guys are beasts in there. And, even the best get hit. And but Kattar, like I said, he's more methodical. He's gonna wait to counter, and then once he smells blood, he really turns it on. That's a good thing. He doesn't let you off the hook. He combos a lot more. But Stephens is an animal. He'll keep going forward, and I think, I see I don't know if it's gonna be a KO. I see a TKO. It's gonna be a KO because I see it being stopped due to the ground and pound eventually. But Yeah, unfortunately, it's just too hard to bet on Stevens, man. My pick is Cater. I'm not saying you necessarily have to bet on it, but you could parlay him if you're that confident. But yeah, I can't pick against him in this one, man. Cannot do it. So let's keep going. Now, okay, Francis Ngannou versus Rozenstruik, man. Yeah, Rozenstruik. Francis Ngannou is minus 260. Rozenstruik is a plus 210 at heavyweight. Now, I talked about this as well on the stream. I mean, this is interesting. I've gone back and watched this, and it's tough, man. Look, I mean, Francis Ngannou is a favorite for a reason. This is really tough. I've been back and forth to talk to people about this, and I think it's Francis Ngannou. He's come up. He's so athletic. He's not just throwing haymakers. He's so, he's a beast. He's an animal. We all what have to say. He's like the hardest hitter in the division, right? In the UFC period, probably, right? He's definitely one of the top. I mean, I don't know who can really beat him as far as punching power. Derek Lewis got a lot of power too, but yeah. So he's a beast. He's and he's the thing is though, he's like still so green as far. I mean, look, he's just a natural beast who kind of started later in the game training for MMA, right? But you can see it. He's like he has kicks. Like he doesn't have basically he wants to make it a boxing match because his kicks. He's just he's got heavy legs, but they're not. Like he's not very finesse. Let's just put it that way. Like I think Jorgen is more finesse in his kicking than Ngannou is. If I want to say that. If you want to choose who, but like, so Ngannou's like, still pretty green. Rozenstruik has so many kickboxing matches, and he's only been KO'd twice. So I think people they're just assuming Francis Ngannou's going to go there and steamroll in the first round. Like, first round is going to just boom. I don't think so. I think Rozenstruik is not going to be scared. When Ngannou catches people, you can tell him, they get him off their game. Like Yovarim too. He was kind of doing awkward looping punch. Like, he had his chin out. I think people get freaked out. They get pressure. Like when they feel it. They kind of go a little. I mean, JDS did that too. JDS has the better boxing, right? JDS has one of the best boxing in the heavyweight division. Well, he could have minded his P's and Q's, but I think when they get in there, like Ngannou's got he's a huge guy, good reach. Look at 6'4", 83-inch reach. Hits like a damn truck, literally. Apparently, I mean, what the hell is that, right? Freaking. I like that when when Dana White's at the presser and he's just like totally bigging up Ngannou. Like it says. It's like getting hit with a spaceball, but it's like getting hit by a truck going top speed. Holy shit! And then and then Steve is like, yeah, good for him. Yeah, we all hit hard. It's like I don't know, it's funny, but anyway, yeah, he's like it's a lot of hype behind him. But this is another thing too. This could be a dud, like for him versus Lewis, and then he could lose. Could you imagine? Imagine this is like a terrible dud where you have two guys like of course Rozenstruik wants to counter you, right? So what if these guys are just staring in the mirror, as they say, right? They're just gonna. It's like a little shadow boxing kind of match and then Rozenstruik just wins by having a little bit more output or something, Could you imagine like a dud like that? But anyway, could happen, but I think Rozenstruik is not going to be so, I don't see him really getting steamrolled in the first round. I think he'll mind his P's and Q's. He actually will. He has the much better technique. He has more variety as well. The funny thing is Ngannou has the ground advantage because Rozenstruik hasn't looked too good on the ground, but he has defense. He defends takedowns. But I think, Francis is so big. I think he can kind of muscle him, land something, maybe, clip him with something, and then kind of eventually get him to the ground, and he could submit him. But like I said, Rozenstruik taking down defense isn't too bad. I haven't seen too much of it, but like I said, I remember when I did look at tape, I think he did defend not bad. It's not bad. You know what I mean? And so I think, I feel like, okay, to be honest with you, as from a betting perspective, Rozenstruik is a good bet. I'll be honest with you. My pick, man, it's been so tough because of going back and forth. Like I felt like it's so tough to bet against Ngannou, but at these odds, I don't know. You can't. I mean, this is a heavyweight division, and Rozenstruik. What if he does it? I mean, Rozenstruik. I mean, we all know that famous where he busted. I mean, he was losing that though. Overeem was like doing pretty well the whole fight, and then all of a sudden, just the last 10 seconds of the fight, Rozenstruik just lands that freaking straight, boom, busts his lip straight open, and then and Overeem lands straight on his butt. He put him on his ass. Like he's got power, man. Rozenstruik has power himself. So I'm not saying I don't think he's gonna necessarily KO Francis Ngannou, but I think Francis Ngannou will feel it. Like those jabs are gonna be coming out. Like the counter is gonna be a lot slicker and land on Ngannou more. So and Ngannou can get tired, later on. I think Rozenstruik, like I said, as far as betting perspective, I think Rozenstruik is actually not a bad bet. If you're okay with the risk, right? High risk, high reward. You're okay with it. I think, I would say, yeah, man, I think if you're going to bet on Rozenstruik or just pass. Or, like I said, if you're really high on Ngannou, which it's hard for me to not believe he's going to win, I think just go ahead. Yeah, I mean, put him in a parlay. Okay, so I know I'm giving, you kind of what, I'm not giving you really a straight answer, but I believe that Ngannou will win. That's my pick as far as winning. But betting wise, I think I might. Who knows? I might put a little money on Rosenstruck just because he's just a lot more technical. It's betting wise, he's a better bet, dude. He is, okay. I believe I have a strong feeling Ngannou's gonna win, but Rosenstruck's a way better bet. Okay, so that's what I gotta say about that, man. It's up to you what you guys do. But yeah, Henry Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz. Talk about this quite a bit. Shout out to Jack Attack. Shout out to talking a lot of guys in the chat too. And my stream, that crazy ass weird stream, just got too drunk and talking like bull crap. Complete bullcrap, but like nice guys. Ethiopian Phenom was talking to me, like Max, shout out to that guy. G was talking to me. Jihad, Mac Live, good guys. But really cool stuff, really good insight, you guys. Hopefully they have their channels and people can subscribe to them. I'm sure I'll see them in the chats. But MMA KO as well was in the chats too. Really good guy. Muay Thai boxing. Drunken boxing. I'm sorry, Drunken boxing was talking about too. Jack Hash Brown, cool guys, man, in the chats. But like a lot of people, yeah. And anyway, so it's awesome just being part of this community, just talking to people like you and you guys, and we can just help each other to grow and hear opinions. But anyway, let's go on. Henry Cejudo, minus 220 favorite against Dominic Cruz, a plus 180 favorite in this bantamweight fight. It's a title match. And here's the thing, man. I've talked about this, and I'm telling you, I'm still picking Cruz. I've been saying this, and the thing is, because look, we've all talked about that. Look, I can go. I've taken notes. I've talked about this many times. Dominic Cruz, he beat TJ after a 2-year layoff, battling injuries. And TJ was, I'm sorry, but I mean, there's a big question mark about whether he was clean in those fights, man. I mean, he could have been using EPO. I would not be surprised. I mean, people say, oh, he only did it for the Cejudo fight to cut down, but we don't know that, man. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say that with a straight face, isn't it? Dom has size advantage too. This is a big thing. I mean, Henry Cejudo, Dominic Cruz is used to fighting. This is what he does. He fights short, stocky wrestlers. This is what he does, and he wins. Great takedown defense too. 83% takedown defense, and he gets up anyway. Like, he's not gonna Cejudo. You think Cejudo's gonna be controlling Dom on the ground? I'm not saying he's not gonna get it. He could get a takedown, but I think Cruz will pop back up, and he's like I said, and he could be stand up war. I think that's what's gonna happen more than likely than not. I think it's gonna be stand up, and I think Dom's actually, if you look at just striking, you have to give it the advantage to Dom. And people are like, what? Look. Oh, Cejudo, look at his power. Look at his speed and all this. Like, yeah, he's really his karate style is really developed. And he's gotten really good in it. But the thing is, you can tell he's a guy who has a great wrestling background who's trying to make the striking match. And you can just kind of tell, like, he has a tendency, and I think it's gotten better. But you do see him sometimes, when he gets frustrated, he will blitz in with anger. He gets emotional a bit. And that's really bad to do against Dominic Cruz. Like, watch the Dominic Cruz versus TJ fight. The first 2 rounds, like, TJ was missing a lot. Dominic Cruz was making him miss a lot and countering quite well. I like it when Dominic Cruz goes up the center line. Like, he lands this awkward punch, right? The arm's like totally extended, and lands almost with the side of the wrist, almost kind of like lands with the punch. When he's off the center line, then he lands a kick. So you're getting a punch to the face, this awkward punch to the face, and then a kick to your leg. Probably inside leg kick, probably near the calf. But usually against the calf, I've seen that quite a bit. But and so I mean, I think it can get him frustrated. And Dam actually sticks to a plan too. If anyone's he's been watching tape all the time. That's what he does. He gets injured, he freaking takes his time off, he heals up. He's just behind the desk talking about breaking down these guys. He breaks down and he sticks to the plan though. He's a guy who breaks down the fighter and will stick to the game plan to beat him. Like, he doesn't go off of it. Cejudo, if you look at him, he's like I said, he's coming into him. You can kind of tell, like, look back when he's striking, like, he's having advantages. But the thing is, when he fought against Demetrius Johnson, I think what got him the nod was the fact that he got takedowns, because DJ was, like, I think having more success on the feet. Like, you could tell, Cejudo is he's good. He blitzes in, but it's always on a straight line. He's standing sideways, blitzing on a straight line, and he kind of flinches. He's very reactionary. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell, like, I think Dom can set some traps. He can make Cejudo react and then catch him with something. And not that he's going to, we know Dom's, game. He's not going to KO him, but, it could happen, you don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, with Cejudo's big head and I don't think he's going to get KO'd, but I think he's going to get frustrated. He's going to get flustered getting smacked around in the face and eating some leg kicks. But, against Moraes also, You know what I mean? I think it's just like, you know, I just feel like Cejudo is like, he's susceptible to leg kicks too, and I talk about this quite a bit. Like I said, I think like there's a guy I haven't watched his I didn't watch his breakdown of this fight, but I remember I liked this guy MMA Shredded, really cool, big like a big YouTube channel. Like this guy, he's an MMA fighter from Canada, this Asian Canadian dude that's really cool. I like that because he breaks down fights, and I like how he kind of used that. He goes up the center line to land a leg kick, really cool. And I remember he broke down TJ's skills. I haven't seen him talk about Dom actually. I need to watch that. But yeah, I remember I like that. Just talking about that, I think, also like I said, I just feel like Moraes was too happy to trade with Cejudo, and I think Cejudo, that's why he got it. I think, obviously Tommy Cruz not gonna do that. Cejudo beat DJ with takedowns, like I said, and I think it's just, yeah, like I said, I'm going with Cruz in this, man. As underdog, I know it's like red flags. Like, look, he's not getting any younger. He's got this long layoff, big layoff, like at least 3 years, right? I mean, since he got masterclass, loss against Garbrandt. And he's like injured. He's like taking a lot of time off. But like I said, if anyone can do it, it can be him. And look how he came. He came off. Like I said, man, if he comes out, I'm not even saying 100%, but even if he's 80% of the fighter he was against TJ, he's got a good shot. Okay, and I'm sticking with them and Cruz. Like, I understand why Cejudo's a favorite. Don't get me wrong, I get it. But that's just me. I'm picking Cruz, and I probably will bet money on him. I'm telling you, as a bet, there's worse bets you can than that. And now let's go on. I believe we are not the main. Yeah, we are. Tony Ferguson minus 180 versus Justin Gaethje, a plus 155 favorite at an interim lightweight title fight. What has not been said about this fight? Crazy stuff. I'm telling you what. I'm just gonna say this straight up. Really, this is a bitch of a fight to bet on. Like, I mean, and people are like, oh, what the heck? Tony's gonna a favorite for a reason. What are you talking about? Tony's gonna win this. Like, so Justin Gaethje, it's kind of like, I mean, is he gonna come in prepared or not? Like, he can, Tony's got the arguably the better, much better cardio, right? Tony's not gonna get tired. But the thing is, he does get hit, and against Justin Gaethje, holy I broke this down before. I mean, who knows? He's gonna be doing that rolling thunder kick, man. It's probably like a meme at this point, I think I'll tell you what. I I know he's going to get cut up. Like, he wants to get his nose broken, right, he said, so he can get it fixed. The UFC can pay to fix it, like, because I guess he has some breathing problems with his nose or whatever. But Justin Gaethje, I've talked about this before on my channel, like, how he can win and what some things he brings to the table. But I'll tell you what, it makes complete sense that Tony would win. It really does. But he's no spring chicken. He's getting up in age, and... these guys are actually the same height. That's cool, 5'11". That's crazy reach. Look at that. Tony Ferguson, 76.5-inch reach versus 70-inch for Justin Gaethje. Craziness, man. So taking strikes, look at that. 5.81 for Tony and 8.57 for Gaethje, man. Okay, so, and Gaethje, like I said, he'll turtle up. He'll take a shot. Like, he likes to turtle up. He has that high guard, right? He puts his forearms to completely block his face in the midsection. Like, he's, of course, susceptible for hooks that can get through that guard, but he'll let you kind of do it. He's fine. He's like, okay, he'll do that. If he does get a little bit tired, he'll let you tire yourself out, which is not going to happen against Tony, right? Tony's not going to tire himself out, but he'll kind of let you at least get to lull you into a false sense of security, right? He'll just, when you're landing those combos on him while he's turtled up in that guard, he'll kind of take a breath. He's breathing to reset, and boom, he just with full force will land a hook. He's got good uppercuts. Good leg kicks. He's got that crazy wrestling which he never uses. Rolling thunder kicks. I mean, it's really good, man. I think, like, I'll tell you what, I'm being honest with you. I'm actually leaning towards Gaethje, and I have been for a while. And I think it's a crazy bet. Like, stay away from this for betting. But I don't know. If you're a crazy guy, you could put some money on Gaethje. Because, I mean, I wouldn't be... man, could you imagine if anyone can do it? I mean, Tony gets hit, and you're going against Gaethje. And like I said... like, this is a common theme. If you're betting, right? We've talked about several fighters like this. If they just have a puncher's chance, obviously that's a really risky bet. That's not the smartest of bets. Like I said, if you want to if from a betting perspective, you want to be smart. If you're the kind of gambler who likes to, play it safe and, slowly but surely just steadily make profit. You want to steadily make profit, then obviously this is not the type of fight to bet on. It is not. And if you're really high on Tony, which a lot of people are for a reason, I understand why he's a favorite. I really do. I mean, come on now, right? I mean, do I need to say more about Tony? Like, I mean, like the submission game is amazing, right? His strikes, very creative in there. he'll cut you up. He'll do that spinning back elbow on you, and but I feel like I'm picking. Actually, to be quite frank, if you ask me who I'm picking Gaethje, and I'm not surprised if he loses. Okay, I'm just saying who I'm gonna pick is him, and who I might even throw a little money on, maybe him, but not a smart bet. Like I said, stay away from it. But good luck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a bit long. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you're betting on, if you disagree or agree with me. But yeah, I hope we all get some money on this card, man. Okay? Peace out. Appreciate you guys actually listening, and take care.